what's now for Chelsea? The signing of Morgan Rogers make Chelsea a well-equipped side to go on to win the Premier League. Does it really affect the way the team is going to play? Does it really, raise their standard? I don't think so, in my opinion. I don't think. In fact, I think Chelsea just went in for Morgan Rogers to lift the spirit of the fans because obviously we know that some players are likely going to move. I still think Enzo Fernandez is still going to leave Chelsea. I think number two, they went in for Morgan Rogers to spite Arsenal because obviously Arsenal were not willing to pay that kind of money for Morgan Rogers. So I felt they did that to spite Arsenal. But does it really raise the ceiling for Chelsea? We look at the players or the attackers Chelsea have, except Cole Palmer and in fact, Joao Pedro, I don't think is a world-class striker. Except Cole Palmer, I don't think they really have a world-class attacker. They have players that can potentially be world-class. Estevao, I think in the next few years, if he keeps his trajectory, he's likely going to be a top-class winger. Joao Pedro, I think, has the potential to be a top-class striker. But except those two, I don't really think they have, enough quality, enough, like I don't think the level in the attack is really high, is good enough for them to, win the league. Right? You look at the midfield options, I still think, like I mentioned, Enzo Fernandez is likely going to leave. You look at the midfielders they have, Caicedo can be said to be the only, top class midfielder they have, and you go to their defense. And it is crazy to me that Chelsea are willing to spend that kind of money on Morgan Rogers. I don't think they needed a player like Morgan Rogers when they have defensive issues. Reece James, we know, is an injury-prone player. In my opinion, I don't think Chelsea have a top-class centre-back. With the selling of Cucurella, I don't think they have a good enough, left back. So I feel they have so many problems that Morgan Rogers alone cannot solve. So forking that kind of money to get Morgan Rogers when I think that money would have been invested in different positions, this Van der Ven at Tottenham is available. Romero is available. I think Slotterberg at Borussia Dortmund available. There are players. I think that money would have gone a long way in building the team. Morgan Rogers, like I made mention in my video, I don't think he's consistent enough to drag a team on his own to win the league. I don't think he has the ability to be the main man in a particular. Even at Aston Villa, he was not really the main man at Aston Villa, right? At the beginning of the season, he was outstanding. He was a key player, but as the season went on, he tailed off, right? So that's why I'm saying that he's not consistent enough. So Chelsea spending that kind of money on Morgan Rogers opens the door to, because if Chelsea are going into tries to get any player now, those clubs are going to try to get so much money from them because they were willing to pay that kind of money for Morgan Rogers. So I think as good as the signing of Morgan Rogers is, I think on the long run, it's bad business for Chelsea.